Hello and welcome back. Today's offering is a landmark game, mostly because it brings in a whole bunch of new and innovative ideas. I'd like to formally introduce the Nintendo Game & Watch called Manhole. This being the first game of the Gold Series handhelds from 1981. Episode 17 would not be complete without answering our last episode's brain teaser called, What in the World? I guess a lot of you knew this one. I thought it might just be on the fringe of Nintendo's items to throw you guys. I thought it'll be tough enough, but listening to you guys, and from some of your feedback, this was seen to be an easy one. The DS accessory called the Poke Walker was pictured. The one in my collection came with a game called Heart Gold. Here is today's star of the show. We have the first offering from Nintendo of their short-lived Gold series. With a dull brown plastic color-coded case, that does not present or showcase the new gold faceplate well at all. In my opinion, the game can be forgiven if it appears at first sight to be a bit, let's say, boring. This reserved or understated appearance belies its improvements and innovative design tweaks that make it vastly superior to the year's previous launch games, the Silver Series edition. The game was called Manhole. It had the original model code of MH-06. As you can see from the bottom of the screen, it was first issued January 29th in 1981. Like the vast majority of Game & Watches, this console was sold with a Game Mode A and Game Mode B option. In Game Mode A, the player is presented with 4 open manholes, yet he only has one cover in his possession to bridge the gaps. His task is to move the cover from open manhole to open manhole and prevent any pedestrians falling down into them. The console has 4 primary buttons, these being the large red ones. As a design, these are ergonomically perfect as they correspond directly to the equivalent open manhole location shown on the screen. If, during the gameplay, you're able to protect the pedestrians from falling through the open drains with your single cover, you'll be rewarded with a point to your score. To all intents and purposes, Game Mode B is identical to Game Mode A. There are a few minor exceptions, these being, the pedestrian walking speed increases incrementally with time, and in Game Mode B, many more pedestrians are allowed to enter the gameplay arena. As a bonus, and to allow the realistic opportunity for a player to reach a maximum score of 999, the game has a built-in rewards option. If the player reaches 200 points, and later at the 500-point mark, all missed markers, represented in this game by a line of up to 3 dripping t-shirts, are erased. This allows the player to then continue with all original 3 lives available once again. So what are some of the changes I've been going on about? The first one I'm going to tell you about might seem kinda stupid. But it was advice that Nintendo changed in their instructions booklets in response to a ton of complaints about damage caused to the sunken, or recessed button, known as the ACL control. In all previous instruction booklets from the Game & Watch line of consoles, Nintendo recommended the use of a sharp pencil to push into the ACL access point. As this was recessed, the sharp tip of a pencil was thought of as a commonly available household tool that would be suitable for this task. There are, however, no prizes for guessing that a lot of customers reported broken lead pencil tips being stuck inside their consoles. Repair costs, on top of the shipping and warranty work, quickly underscored that this use of a pencil was not the best tool to recommend. Interestingly, Nintendo, whilst cautioning against the use of pins and pencils, failed to actually identify an acceptable utensil. With the information on ideal viewing angles pretty much the same. And specifications data, that always appears on rear page of the instructions booklet, going unchanged. I thought I'd add an additional little tidbit. That is, the CPU utilized in all early model Game & Watches was made by Sharps Electronics, the SM5XX. So what else was new? This is a big one. Feedback from early adopters had informed Nintendo that a stand was needed. Their research and development department set about remedying this omission or shortfall. A separate stand was considered, but quickly discounted, identifying additional costs and its potential loss through being mislaid cited for its dismissal. An integrated stand seemed the next logical step. And the fold-in, fold-out arm idea gained ground. However, making it out of plastic similar to the housing in both texture and color, whilst attractive, would prove problematic, mostly due to the well-known issues of stress cracking in these early plastics. Metal was the next medium considered, and as a cheap yet effective option, all thoughts turned to the use of a wire stand, which was eventually chosen. But wait, there's more. Another innovation. This is the very first Game & Watch to boast it has an internal built-in alarm clock function. as an obvious initial omission from the very first launch of this series of handhelds. Now the kids can get themselves up for school. But wait, there's even more new stuff. Gosh, this is just too exciting, eh? The Game & Watch called Manhole was the first ever console to receive a colored overlay to its screen. A cheap but extraordinary way to brighten up gameplay. This became the new standard for Nintendo's Game & Watch line. Well, the episode is almost done. And it was a bit of a doozy, I think you'll agree. Lots of new factoids and information. Just a couple of things are needed before I put this episode to bed and wrap up another step forward in our epic journey. Firstly, I believe it's worth mentioning that the game Manhole was deemed popular enough to get a second edition console of the same name which re-released, way back in 1983. Called, the New Widescreen Series. The revised version with its very sexy metallic blue faceplate will, as always, get its own episode in due course. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Also, I recommend you activate the alarm to ensure you don't miss out on all our upcoming content. And that, folks, just about wraps up our show today. Hope you liked it. Before we sign off, I'll need to ask you the simple question. What in the world? I'm hoping to fool you a little here. Do you know what Nintendo item this is? Please feel free to comment in the section below or join me next episode to find out where this really is. And I'm back here asking you to like the show, clearly only if you did enjoy it. If you see where we're going here, and are interested in seeing real items, real facts and learning a little bit along the way, feel free to subscribe, follow us by hitting that bell, and getting an alarm as our new content is uploaded. Finally, I'd like to thank everyone, who like me enjoys the history of some of our playthings. Hope to see you all soon, thank you very much for watching.